Hello, my name is Heather, and this class is going to be for those of us that suffer from chronic illnesses. So that's a lot of different things, or could be a lot of different things. But sort of the underlying theme there with a chronic illness is sort of a level of consistent pain, sleep issues, maybe appetite issues or stomach issues, headaches, pain. And so I don't know why you're here, but I'm glad you're here. And because I don't know why you're here, some of the things that I might offer today, you might be like, that doesn't work for me. It might not work for you. I don't know what works for you or not. And actually, that's what this is all about. So when you come up against those moments in a yoga class, and I want you to be able to think about, you could take any yoga class. You're going to come up to a moment that's something that is being offered that is not for you. And part of learning to care for ourselves when we have chronic illnesses is knowing when to say no, knowing our limits, knowing what's actually good for us and going to serve us, and what's going to hurt us. And personally, I've been dealing with what I've got going on, endometriosis, for a really long time. I have other things going on too, but I think they kind of all stem from that. So with having that, I now know what's going to cause a flare usually, and sometimes I decide to do it anyways. And that's another part of this. Like, life is a paradox and there's nuance involved. And some things, sometimes we want to do something that feels good in the moment, even though we know it's going to make us feel bad. That's sort of an aside. It's more like the yoga, the real yoga, the big yoga, not the small yoga, not the bite-sized asana practice that we do, but the yoga of our lives. Like if you're truly interested in becoming a yogi, not just a poser, then you really start to think about how our approach in yoga class, in yoga poses mostly, really is a reflection of the sort of way we approach the different ways in which we're going to be bent out of shape in life, or bent into shape, or whatever it is. Again, I'm kind of going on a tangent here slightly, but this is all related. And so as I start to teach this class, and as you start to come up against things that don't work for you, first of all, maybe just skip it. Second of all, is there something that you can do within what I've offered? And third, is there maybe something else that you could do in general? Like, is there another pose that's similar, not the same? Or maybe you just need to lay down, or maybe you just need to do child's pose or down dog, whatever it is. Okay? So I want this class to be about that. I want this class to be empowering and to provide a little bit of clarity around, first of all, how you react when a teacher offers you something that you know you can't do, don't want to do, or is not going to make you feel good. Especially in the framework of this class is for chronic pain people. It can be more triggering because you're like, this is supposed to be for me, and it's not for me. So anyways, as you start to move, take care of yourself. Let's start out in a comfortable seated position or laying flat on your back, whichever one's more comfortable. Close your eyes. Really, any seated position will do. Even if you want to go grab a chair, sit in a chair so you can sit upright a little more comfortably. Sitting on the floor is great. Laying down on the ground is also great. Just take a moment to make contact with ourselves here. Really drop into how we're feeling right now. You might not be having any symptoms right now, and maybe you're in a flare, whatever it is, somewhere in between. Just kind of taking the time to go inwards and experience the feedback, the sensations. Like, poke around, feel around, notice what you notice. We're not trying to get rid of anything. We're not trying to breathe it away. We're not trying to make it better. We're just observing. And it's interesting once you start to observe, things can change, or maybe whatever little thing you were feeling moves, or you just don't feel it anymore at all. As that starts to happen, you might bring your awareness to a different place, or keep your awareness in the place that once had sensation, and see if you can notice how it's changed. What's it feel like now? What's the periphery of that sensation or lack thereof? How far does it spread out? What are the boundaries of it? What does it affect? It might start to shift and change again. It doesn't have to be a big sensation. It can be very, very subtle. And it might be that you feel a place in you. The biggest sensation is the feeling of nothing. That there's nothing there, that it's empty, or you can't make contact. Be interested in that too. That's also interesting, that nothing is something. Becomes too much, if it's been too much to keep your eyes closed, open your eyes. Sometimes when we close our eyes, we get flooded. There's so much going on in our system that when we close our eyes, it's too much. If that's happening for you or happens for you, you can have your eyes open and still be doing this practice of engaging with what's happening internally. It can just sort of you can dilute it a bit to have your eyes open. So that might be a better option for you. Let's start to bring some awareness into our breath. If you can, you're going to be breathing through your nose on the inhale and the exhale. Feeling into your body as you breathe now, noticing your feet and how you've placed your feet, what your feet are feeling. As I start to do this and kind of go through a little bit of a body scan, you might feel the need to adjust. Please adjust if you feel like you need to. So feeling into your feet, noticing what you're feeling there. Your ankles, your calves and shins, your knees, noticing your knees, the front, the back, the sides, noticing your hamstrings, inner thighs, outer thighs, front of thighs, noticing where your legs, your thighs connect into your hips and become your hips at the hip socket, your pelvis, your pubic bone and tailbone, and the muscles at the bottom of your pelvis that create your pelvic floor, noticing what's going on there. And again, just a reminder, we're not trying to fix anything. We really just want to observe things as they are. Not put that pressure on us to need them to go away or to fix it. Just being with what's there. Noticing your belly. Noticing how you're holding your tummy. Noticing your low ribs, low back. Noticing your upper back, shoulder blades, the back of your arms, elbows, the back of your hands. Noticing your low ribs in the front, your sternum, your collarbones, your whole rib cage. Notice your breath. Your collarbones through the front of your arms, inner elbow, your thumbs, the palm of your hands, noticing and feeling your whole arms. How do you have your arms? Where are your hands placed? Noticing your breath. Noticing your neck, the front of your neck. Can you feel your breath in your throat, the sides of your neck, the back of your neck, the back of your head, your face, noticing your whole face, around your eyes, your nose, your ears, your mouth. Notice your tongue. Where is your tongue? How does it feel? Take a deep breath. Feeling into the crown of your head, your third eye, your whole head, noticing your whole head and spine, the weight of your arms, relaxing deeply through your hip creases, letting your legs be heavy. Going going into your breath again. Deep inhale and exhale. Breathing into your belly as you inhale, filling up fully from your belly button all the way to the crown of your head, as if you could do something like that. And then exhaling, feeling the crown of your head sink back down your spine. Gets a little smaller, your chest comes back, maybe your belly pulls in slightly at the end of that exhale. And then inhale, filling up again, paying attention now not only to the front of your chest, your belly, but the sides of your ribs and your back, filling up completely, feeling yourself get a little taller. And then as you exhale, things fall back into place. This is Dirga Pranayama belly breath. Imagining filling up from your belly upward and exhaling from the crown of your head downward. Do that a couple times, breathing through your nose. Following your breath all the way to the top where you really can't get any air in. See if there's even a little bit more, maybe you can. And then if you feel comfortable with it, a slight pause before you exhale. Also challenging yourself not to push the breath out all at once or breathe it in all at once. Trying to make the beginning and the end of your exhale the same. Same pace, same texture. Try that 3 times, 3 more deep breaths. Smooth and even, long and slow. On your next inhale, start to open your eyes. Okay, finding your way onto your back. If you have some props, go ahead and push them out of your way. You won't necessarily need the props, I don't think. But props are a really nice thing for those of us that need sometimes a little extra boost, a little extra oomph. Turn on the light here, it's a little dark. So laying on your back, bring your knees into your chest, wrap your arms around your legs and rock from side to side. Just kind of, again, the whole time today, really staying connected with the sensations that you experience in your body, noticing how you guard yourself. Those of us that have a chronic pain issue will tend to hold the tissues very tight around wherever the painful spot is. This is known as guarding. Guarding is probably somewhat helpful in the beginning of an injury, but when it becomes chronic, when we're always trying to squeeze our stomach in because we're afraid our back is going to go out, it's not helpful anymore. It's not actually helping to protect you in any way anymore, and you probably are not in any danger anyways, but our body doesn't know that. So we're taking this time today to really explore, oh man, every time I go to step backwards, I really hold my hip really tight, or I squeeze my pelvic floor or my belly or my face, and I don't really think I need to do that anymore. I'm really just exploring those boundaries, those edges and beliefs that we have about certain movements. Go ahead and let your knees now drop to the right for a simple twist. Placing your right hand on the outside of your left leg, stretch your left arm out to the side. 3 deep breaths here. And then moving your knees to the left. Same thing, stretching your right arm out to the side, left hand weighs your top leg down. 3 deep breaths. and then rolling back onto your back. Interlace your fingers on your right shin and kick your left foot up toward the ceiling. That leg might not get straight, just as straight as you can right now, and you're gonna drop your left leg down toward the ground, hovering your left heel just above the floor. Pull your right leg in, and it's like you're trying to do the splits. You're really stretching your legs apart. Take a deep breath. And then bringing your left leg back up, let's switch sides. Bend your left knee, kick your right heel up toward the ceiling. That leg might not straighten, but you can keep that feeling of lengthening through the back of your leg. Start to drop your leg down, hovering your heel just above the ground. Pull your left thigh towards your tummy and breathe. And then start to bring your right leg up. Bring both feet up and do some ankle circles. Getting into the ankles here, let your feet, feel the movement in your feet and calves, shins. And then go in the opposite direction. Staying connected with a deep breath. It doesn't have to be the deepest breath. Just something that makes you have to think of it. So a little deeper than normal. Bend your knees, place your feet on the floor, a little wider than hip distance apart, heels very close to your butt. You can put your hands wherever they feel comfortable. Today I like the feeling of my hands being on my belly. So you're going to tuck your tailbone up toward the ceiling and then tuck it down toward the ground. These are pelvic tilts. So we'll do this a couple times, starting to really warm up our hamstrings, lower belly, pelvic floor, lower back. Breathing as you move, noticing your feet on the floor, the back of your head, the back of your heart. Relax your face. Going at your own pace, it doesn't have to be fast or slow, it's just somewhere in there. You might notice if you can make your movement a little bit bigger than you were before once you get the hang of it. And then bring your feet just a little bit narrower, tiny bit. Step down into your feet firmly, palms on the floor at your sides. Lift your pelvis up, and then bring your pelvis over to the right. Drop it down toward the ground, hovering above the floor, and then swing it up to the left. Lift up from the left toward the ceiling. Drop back down toward the right. So it's kind of like making a circle with your pelvis, okay? So really feeling your feet on the floor as you do this. If you want some more a feeling of stability, you can hold on to the edges of your mat and you're kind of pulling it apart in opposite directions, okay? So again, moving nice and slow. Breathing as you move, noticing the feedback from your body, the sensations, remembering to take care of yourself. What could you do instead of this? Maybe just lift up and hold. Maybe just keep your knees bent, feet on the floor, pause, take a break. Start to go in the opposite direction. Sometimes I get to the end of the class and people will be like, I can't believe you made us do that. And it's such a funny comment. I mean, you're paying me to teach this class. You're not paying me. But my class is, and you don't ever have to do what a yoga teacher says, ever. Maybe you shouldn't do everything your yoga teacher says. Especially if at the end you're going to be mad at them over it. Okay, let your hips come down. Take your knees out wide out to the side of your ribs. Lift your feet up. Hold on to your shins, ankles, or the pinky side edges of your feet and do happy baby pose. Breathe. Keep breathing. Bring your feet to the floor. Kind of the same thing with the feet, at least feet hip distance apart. Bring your right knee into your chest and then take your right knee out to the side, and we're going to just do some circles with that leg. Let your lower leg be relaxed, so don't hold your lower leg up. That's much harder on our hip flexors, so you can just bend your knee. Harder, I mean, it's okay. It's fine. It's just harder. Okay, circles. And then go in the opposite direction. Again, noticing the feedback from your body, the sensations, any alarms, anything that feels like nothing, all of the stuff we're interested in. We're interested in what our bodies have to say. Okay, bringing your right foot down, let's do the left side. Bring your left knee in, out to the side, big circles. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm really paying attention to the feeling of my lower back on the ground, so I can feel my SI joint, my sacral iliac joint. Sacrum is in the center, your iliac is that side of your pelvis on the left and on the right. But those are called your iliac crests, or your ilium, or your annominids. But anyways, so I really can feel like I'm getting a little massage. Go in the opposite direction a couple times. I can't remember if we did the opposite direction on that first side, but why not? Give the left hip a little extra. That's not gonna hurt you. You're fine. Okay, bringing your left foot down, straighten your legs onto the ground. Push your heels forward, flex your toes back toward your shins, and then turn, keep your left leg as it is. Turn your right foot out to the right. Bring your right foot to your left ankle, and then slide your foot up your thigh, up to your thigh. So you're sliding your foot along your leg as far as it can go, and then push it along your leg. So my foot and leg are touching until your leg has to straighten again, and then turn your right toes up, make your right leg strong, turn your left toes out, bring the bottom of your left foot to your right ankle, slide your foot up your leg to your thigh, slide it back down until your leg straightens again, and turn your toes up. So it's kind of like tree pose. So we're going side to side, sliding our leg, or sliding our foot along our leg. The trick here, really not a trick, you're gonna try to keep your knee relaxed. So I'm not lifting my knee as I do this. My leg is relaxed out to the side. I'm really generating this movement, thinking about it coming from my foot, the slide of my foot up and down my leg. Okay, a couple more times. The leg that stays straight, really make it straight. Push your heel forward, flex your toes. The leg that's going out to the side, the hard part is just trying to keep your leg relaxed and not lifting your knee as you slide up into that tree pose shape. One more time each side. Excellent. Now bring both of your feet together with your knees out wide. This is Supta Baddha Konasana, sort of like, it's like reclined tree with the tree shape on both sides. Let's hold here, take a deep breath. Okay, so really paying attention to that pinky side edge of your feet on the floor. Bring your hands down to your mat, hold on to the edges of your mat. Try to pull it apart. Press down really hard into the pinky side edges of your feet. And that might be it for you today. Otherwise, you're going to try to push down the pinky side edges of your feet, push down the back of your head, and lift your hips up. And then bring them back down. So again, you could either be pushing your feet together and down, and that might be it. You're still activating your hips. Or maybe try to use your head and feet and lift your hips up. So a couple of those. I think the misconception is that chronic pain people just need to rest all the time. And we do need to rest. We do need to take care of ourselves, but we also need to stay strong. It's hard to be in pain all the time. We want to give our muscles something to think about. We want to stay connected and in our bodies and try to find safety in our bodies even when we're experiencing pain. A level of acceptance and safety around the pain, like I'm not actually damaged or injured, I'm just experiencing pain, is very powerful. Bring your knees in, bring your hands to your legs. It's just kind of reminding me about the conversation around healing and like, there is no 100% healed pretty much for anybody, and also healed looks different in everyone. So for us who have chronic pain that it's just never going to go away, healed for us is more just about acceptance. Roll over to one side and prop yourself up. Come up to hands and knees. So we did sort of like this circular motion with our pelvis when we were on our back. Let's try to do that same thing. So like instead of cat cow, we're going to make a circle. Excuse me. So my body, upper body. I'm going to drop, keep my elbows straight, knees underneath the hips, drop my chest and belly down like cow pose. And then rock it over to the right, my shoulders and hips shift, lift, rock over to the left and drop down. Okay, you can get your head into it. Close your eyes if you want. Your elbows will bend a little bit, that's okay. But mostly they're staying straight, so you can push your hands down and stay strong for your wrists. Fingertips pressing down. And again, notice as that little voice says whatever it's saying to you. And just be curious about that too. I think there's some misconceptions around yoga being like you have to have a quiet mind, like that's the prerequisite. It's literally why yoga exists, is to quiet the mind. Like if you can't do it without yoga. You need the yoga to do the thing. So here we are. Asanas, do asanas quiet your mind? Not if you think you're doing them wrong all the time and you're worried all the time about hurrying yourself. Okay, go in the opposite direction. Maybe you can get a little bit more dramatic with it. Big breaths, really feeling the movement in your hips and shoulders, belly, in your palms of your hands and knees. Okay, big toes together, knees wide, or knees together. Really whatever position you can make this into be comfortable for you for child's pose. If you have pillows, you could put pillows underneath where your upper body is, just to lift you up and take some of the pressure out of your knees and your hips and your ankles. Otherwise, we're just going to be here for a little bit, a couple breaths. Deep inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. As you inhale, come up to hands and knees. Exhale, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. We're going to go back and forth. Inhale, hands and knees, and drop your belly, lift your chest, let your sitting bones look up. So you do cow, exhale back to down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. I think cat cow is Chakrasana. Inhale, cow, exhale, down dog. Don't quote me on that, I'm not sure. A couple more times. Inhale, cow, exhale, dog. Cow, dog. Staying downward facing dog, deep inhale. Take your feet a little wider apart, turn your toes out. As you exhale, walk your hands back, sit down into squat pose. Your squat pose might be way up here. You could be here, hands to heart, or elbows on thighs. Maybe you're here, here, here. Maybe your heels are lifted. Wherever it is for you, Malasana, squat pose. Try to lift your chest, even if you're up here. Lift your chest instead of dropping your head and lifting your butt. Butt is down. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Again, listening to that reel of stories in your head. Feeling your feet on the floor, noticing whatever sensations, feedback you're getting from your body. All of these things, all of this stuff, being a human is wild. We're just in a world of sensation and experience, perception. And we've got all of these filters to experience it through, to perceive it through. Bring your hands to the floor, walk your hands forward, do downward facing dog, take a breath. And then walk forward toward the back of your hands. Standing forward bend, feet hip distance apart or maybe wider if you want to make some space for your upper body and belly. Hold on to your elbows, drop your head, and start to weight shift, leaning your weight forward towards your toes and then back towards your heels. Really allowing your whole upper body to hang, your head to hang, knees bent. Breathing deeply. Bring your hands to your hips, squeeze your elbows towards each other behind you. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, push off of your feet to stand up. Once you're standing, arms at your sides, close your eyes. Again, just feeling your feet on the floor, receiving the feedback from your body. Noticing how you're standing, noticing the weight in your feet, how you're holding your face, how you're holding your back and lower back and butt. Feel into your breath. Notice if you're moving a little bit, that's fine to move. Okay, and then starting to open your eyes. Turn your palms out. As you inhale, reach up, look up. And then exhale, turn your palms out, reach out, and look down. Do that a couple times. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, lift your chest, look forward. Exhale, step your right foot back, bring your right knee down. Inhale, reach your arms up, back toes tucked under or not. Exhale, bring your hands down to the inside of your left foot, step your left foot back, lift your feet. Take a deep inhale here, look forward. Exhale, bend your elbows, lower your body. Try to lower yourself down all at once. Inhale, drop your feet, lift your heart, look up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath. Inhale, lift your left leg up behind you. Exhale, step forward. Bring your right knee down. You can pad your knee if your knee feels sensitive. Inhale, reach your arms up, look up. Exhale, bring your hands down and step forward. You're going to step really hard into this front foot. You might even use your hand on your front thigh, pushing down to step forward. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, stretch up, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lifting halfway, look forward. Exhale, step your left foot back, bring your left knee down. Inhale, reach your arms up, look up. Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Exhale, bring your hands down, step back, kneeling plank, lift your feet. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, cobra, drop your feet, roll your shoulders back, curl your heart up, look up. Exhale, down, up. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale, lift your right leg up behind you. Exhale, step your right foot forward, bring your left knee down. Inhale, stretch up, look up. Exhale, bring your hands down, big step forward. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, stretch up, look up. Exhale, arms at your sides, look straight ahead. Deep inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, lift halfway, look forward. Exhale, step your right foot back, bring your right knee down. We're going to stay here for a second this time. Maybe grab your blanket if you need it or want it. Inhale, stretch up. Look up. Now, some of us with shoulder issues, you could interlace your fingers, place your hands behind your head, or hands on hips, squeeze your elbows towards each other back behind you. Like, when you come up against something where you're like, oh, I can't lift my arm, then don't lift your arm. Lift it as much as you can. Do a different arm variation. Use your imagination. It's okay. Now starting to pull your chest back as you do lift your pelvis up. Like this is a low lunge, so our pelvis is dropping down most likely. You lift your pelvis up. Try to keep your front knee over your left ankle. Take your left hand or right hand to the outside of your left leg and you're gonna push them into each other and then stretch your left arm back. Look at your left thumb and breathe. If that hurts your neck, you can stay looking forward or maybe even look down. Couple deep breaths. One more inhale and exhale. Turn forward. Bring your left hand down to the floor or a block on the inside of your left foot. Ouch. Bring your right hand to your right hip. Start to turn your chest to the right as you do bring your right shoulder blade toward the right side of your spine. Take your head back, pubic bone forward to the right. And then drop your left or right arm over your ear. Kneeling side angle pose. Breathe. Again, another pose where the arm is reaching overhead. If that's not an option for you, what is an option for you? Do you need to pad your knee more? Do you need to come out and do child's pose? Really start to question definitely question your motives for doing the thing. Question the voice in your head. Question if what you say you can't do is really something you can't do, or if somebody told you can't do that and you just accepted it. Look down. That person could have been you too. Bring your hands down. Sorry to tell you. Step back. Kneeling plank. Both feet up, push down to the floor, look forward, lower down. Inhale, cobra. Look up. Exhale, down dog. Deep breath. Look forward. Start to walk forward. Inhale, lifting halfway up. Feet are hip distance apart or slightly wider. Exhale, forward bend. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, stand. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, arms at your sides. Just take a second here. Close your eyes. Feel your weight in your feet again. Notice the movement of your body, your breath, your heart. Notice how you're holding yourself. Feeling into your breath. Turn your palms out. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, step your left foot back, bring your left knee down. And then inhale, coming up into low lunge. So our pelvis is sort of dropped here. We're doing a little bit of a back bend. You can bring hands to hips here, hands to heart. Really do whatever variation with the hands is going to benefit you. It's going to make you feel good and not bad. Breathe. Another long, slow breath. Pull your chest back. Pull your hips up for a little twist here. Let right ankle directly underneath your right knee. Take your left hand to the outside of your leg and push them into each other. Hand to thigh, thigh to leg, or to thigh to hand, and then stretch your right arm back behind you. You might look toward your right thumb or look forward. Breathe. Another deep breath. Start to turn forward. Grab a block or put your hand on the floor on the inside of your right leg. Push your arm and leg into each other. Take your left hand to your left hip. And then from here, start to turn your chest toward the left. Keep turning, turning, turning. Lean your arm into your leg into your arm. If you've already raised your arm overhead and over your face, why? I haven't sent it to it yet, and it's not totally necessary. It's not wrong that you did it, but why did you do it? That's the questions I'm asking. Bring your left arm over your face, palm facing down. Breathe. Like I said, observing ourselves in yoga poses and yoga class can tell us a lot about how we are in the world. This is like the microcosm of the macrocosm of your life. Bite-sized and controlled environment to really observe yourself. Take another breath. Look down. And start to bring your hands down. Step back once again. Kneeling plank, lift your feet. Good. Inhale here, look forward. Exhale, lower to the ground. Feet down, toenails push into the floor. Shoulders roll back, heart lifts, look up, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath here. And look forward, start to walk forward. Inhale, lift halfway, look forward. Exhale, forward bend. Hands to hips. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, stand. Arms at your sides. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, reach out and down, look straight ahead. Take a deep breath. And feel yourself. Notice your muscles, your bones, your heart, your eyes. Grab a block if you're using them and stand in the center of your mat. Turn so you're facing the long edge. We're going to put the block on the flat setting. Take your feet out wide. It's out in front of you a little ways here. Bring your hands to your hips, feet basically parallel with the edges of your mat if you're using one. Inhale, lift your chest up, look up. Exhale, start to bend forward into Prasarita Padottanasana, bringing your fingertips to the floor. If you have two blocks, you can put your hands on blocks. I'll show you. It's kind of nice. Gives your hamstrings a little bit of a break. And makes it so that you can keep your legs straight, most likely. Take a deep inhale here. And then exhale, bend your elbows out to the side and fold forward. You can do this with one block. Relax your shoulders, your neck. Feel your weight in your feet. Notice if you're leaning forward or backward. Now, I know fatigue can be part of a chronic illness, and we can get fatigued pretty fast, especially when you're in a flare. You might not even feel like doing this long of a class. So find ways to rest between poses like we've been doing, even just standing, taking an extra breath in down dog, whatever it is. In other words, we're gonna get off our feet soon here, so if you're keeping on, keep on, we're almost done. As you inhale, come up halfway. Bring your block, one of your blocks underneath where your face is, take your right hand to the block and bring your left hand, palm on your sacrum. From here, your hips are gonna move to the left, turn your chest to the left, and breathe. Now you could reach your left arm up, or even reach it forward, which is kind of interesting. Wrap it around, grab your right inner thigh, kind of play with the arm placement here. Once you get used to modifying, there was some conversation in the yoga world for a while about modifying and how we shouldn't use the word modify because it makes people feel less than. I would hope that it makes people feel more empowered, it makes people feel more in control, and it makes them feel like it's their practice. I really hope that people aren't getting the message. I don't know why that people would think they're somehow less than because they needed to modify, look down, or wanted to. I always feel like it's a power move when somebody knows what to do instead of what I've offered. I'm like, hell yeah. Okay, start to turn your chest to the right, push down into the block, and place your hand on your lower back. So we want to like decolonize yoga, all these like perfectionist ideas about things needing to be a certain way or else you're not going to get something out of it. Things needing to look a certain way, that's all colonizer stuff. It's all coming from our conditioning under colonization. So no, we don't need that. We want to push up against those rigid rules for something that is completely made up and very dependent on our anatomy. Okay, take another deep breath. And for those of us that have these chronic pains issues, we know it's not even just our anatomy, it's like our energy. How do we feel? Look down and then start to unwind. Okay, you're going to take your hands off the blocks, bend your knees a little bit. Walk your hands over to your right foot or close to it. Start to bend your right knee. You can turn your right toes out a little bit more. Some of you are going to drop, some of you are going to be right here where I'm at, you can see. Some of you are going to drop down and do more like Skandasana if you're familiar. So my heel is directly underneath my perineum, my heel is lifted, and then on my right side, my right foot is on the heel as well. So it could be up here or down here. And then we're going to move to the left side. So again, it could be up here or down here. Okay, back and forth. Whatever variation. If it's up here, it looks like this. If it's down here, it looks like this. Okay. Just moving however you feel comfortable. We're getting closer to the floor, aren't we? I just want to do something, a class for chronic pain sufferers that it's like full body, right? We do a little bit of something for everything. Got our chest, our shoulders a little bit. Definitely getting a lot of work for our legs and our hips, which is good because I feel like anything strenuous gets sort of like skipped. Okay, one more time each side. And then coming through center, lift your hips, drop your head. Interlace your fingers behind your back, lift your knuckles toward the ceiling. Pull your hands away from your back. Breathe. You can have your knees pretty bent here. Bring your hands to your hips. Take a deep inhale, lift up to the halfway position, look forward. Exhale, bend your knees a little. Push your feet down as you stand up. Inhale, stretch up, look up, maybe do a little back bend, pelvis forward, heart back. And then exhale, bring your arms to your sides. Okay, let's come into a seated position. Baddha Konasana. If you have a blanket or a block or a bolster, you might sit on it. I like to sit on something for this because my knees, the way my hip sockets are, my left knee especially is up really high. See that? My left knee is higher than my right. It might be a little subtle for you to see, but some of you will be able to notice it. This just helps me to rotate forward a little easier. You can hold on to your ankles or your toes, press your outer thighs toward the ground, take a deep inhale, lift your heart up, look up. And then exhale, pull yourself over your legs. Drop your head and go into your deep breathing. Notice if you're holding anywhere, relax your shoulders, your face. And then as you inhale, lift your head. And exhale, sit up. Keep your eyes closed for a second, or close your eyes and just feel how you're feeling. Notice if you were flooded before, if that's changed at all. If it hasn't changed, if closing your eyes is still uncomfortable, go ahead and open your eyes. Take care of yourself, but you can still feel the feeling. The 8 limbs of yoga and the Yoga Sutras by Patanjali, one of the things that we try to do before we become enlightened or united with God, is pratyahara. Pratyahara is sense withdrawal. So closing the eyes, being in a place that's calm and quiet, helps us withdraw our senses. It's a really, really intense skill to have. Go ahead and open your eyes. We learn about sense withdrawal, but before you withdraw your senses, you need to have control somewhat of your overthinking. Okay, and they sort of go hand in hand, right? Let's see. Come onto your back. If you have a block or a blanket, bring it with you. Once again, like we did, like how we started, you're just going to rock from side to side, knees and chest. Cross your right leg over your left leg. Move your hips to the right a bit, and then drop your knees to the left, placing your left hand on the outside of your right thigh, stretch your right arm out. Very similar ending as the beginning. backside of your body melt into the floor. Uncross your legs. Roll back onto your back with your feet on the floor. Just take a breath. Cross your left leg over your right. Move your hips to the left slightly before you drop your knees to the right. Place your right hand on the outside of your left leg. Stretch your left arm out to the side. About 5 breaths here. You can close your eyes if you feel like it. You can keep your eyes open if you feel like it. Unwind your legs, come to center, take your feet out as wide as your mat, and then knock your knees towards each other. Close your eyes, sink for a moment here. Take a deep breath, inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. So with your blanket, you might just weigh yourself down. Like you could use your blanket on your hips or your chest can be nice. Otherwise, you could take the blanket, slide it underneath your lower back so that your butt is still on the floor, or slide it underneath your butt. So if you do your lower back, you're giving yourself maybe a little bit of an assisted back bend, and that can feel good. Or underneath your hips, it's more like you're putting your pelvis in a posterior tilt, so the back of your spine gets a little flatter, but it's hovering above the ground. That might feel good, especially if you straighten your legs. It'll pull you a little bit more into a back bend, and you'll get more of a stretch in your belly, in the front of your hips. So just see which variation you like, either underneath your lower back or underneath your hips with your legs straight, or if there's another variation for your legs. Like I've been saying this whole time, if there's another thing that you'd rather do, please do that. I guess I didn't say that exactly, but rather do, want to do, can't do this, so you have to do it, whatever the verbiage is around it, please take care of yourself. And we'll spend about 3 minutes here in Shavasana, gathering yourself back up, integrating all those different things that you learned, that you observed in yourself. We're finding some acceptance here. The ultimate acceptance, the acceptance of nothingness, the acceptance of just being, the acceptance of death. Feeling the back of your body on the floor again, your heels, calves, hips, back of your arms, back of your chest, back of your head. Feeling the top of your body in space. Under your clothes, blanket maybe. If you are laying on the blanket, remove it for a moment and just lay flat. Take a deep breath. And draw your knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around your legs. Roll over to one side. Prop yourself up to seated. Any seated position that's comfortable for you. Reconnect with your breathing for a moment. The sensations that you have now. Where your mind was, where it's at. How your energy is feeling. Your prana. You can leave your hands where they are, bring them together in front of your heart in honor of each other in this practice. In honor of the teachers who brought this practice to us. In honor of the indigenous people whose land we practice on here, the Kwatuma people. Let's sing the sound of Om. Take a deep inhale. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for trusting me to guide you through a class specifically for chronic pain. I know that there can be a lot of fear with that and moving and putting yourself out there. And I hope that you come back to this practice if it worked for you. And if it didn't, I hope that there was something in there that worked for you, or at least planted a seed in thinking about your chronic illness maybe a little bit differently. And maybe at least entertaining the idea of finding some acceptance within what you're experiencing. I'm hosting a retreat with my partner Charlie. They are an author, writer, bookstore owner here in Port Orford. I'm a yoga teacher, been teaching for a long time. We are teaching a retreat in January 2024 in Yahat, so you can get the information at seawolfbooks.com/retreat. That's seawolfbooks.com/retreat. I'd love to have you there. Otherwise, like, subscribe, share, comment, all that kind of stuff. And if you feel like leaving me a little tip, you can Venmo me. That information is in the About section of my YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Have a great day.